Hey, everybody, it's Tony George and Nick Menken right there from DocSports.com. Welcome to Doc Sports Prop Madness show. Last week, I think it was a 5-1 show. What'd I tell you about Fairbairn? That's right. Got to get it. Tua hit. As a matter of fact, on last week's show, I ended up using that Tua prop that Nick put out. I did a deep dive on that and went 7 uni on that bad boy. Easy money there with those. Of course, if Thursday night is any indication of how crazy Sunday's going to be, you might want to be buried in the prop market.
Yeah, I missed out on Pips. Boy, how about that yesterday?
Wow.
He had 3 touchdowns. I think he had 160 plus yards there. Missed out on Pips. I actually had Bucky Irving on his rushing yards. I hit his rushing yards, but I did over on his receptions. He had one right off the bat in that game, and then Baker just couldn't find him there. But missed out on Pitts, but that game was wild. Congrats to all those Atlanta Falcons fans out there. I thought you guys were dead to rights down 14.
Yeah, I was watching that in a newly opened sports book at a casino in Kansas City last night, and had a little money on Atlanta's second half line. I kind of saw that coming. I didn't see the outright win coming, but you can see some chinks in the armor there for Tampa Bay down the stretch here. Not good for them and their playoff chances the way they're playing right now. I believe that's like 5 straight they've lost. If I'm not 4 or 5 straight, just unbelievable. Some big games this weekend. A lot of big spreads, which doesn't offer a ton of value in the NFL, but there's value in the prop market in those games. We're going to talk about some of them. One of those big spread games is Arizona at Houston. Now, Arizona's getting almost 10 in this game, which that's a red flag right there. With Houston's offense, they shouldn't be laying 10 to anybody. But I like to see players, Nick, that have a lot of success in the overs in the prop market and books don't catch up. And then when they do finally catch up, they over adjust. And right now at DraftKings, you can find Trey McBride, the tight end for Arizona, who's been a cash cow this year. In a lot of games on his overs, receptions, yards, touchdown, anything. But right now they've got him at over or under 7.5 receptions for a tight end in this game. You saw how much success Kelsey and Gray had for Kansas City against that Houston defense. None. Under 7.5, it's chalky at -145. It's still 6.5 at 3 other books, but DraftKings put this up at 7.5 today. On Friday, when we tape this, I'd go under on those receptions. Nick, what do you got?
Yeah, it's not an exciting game here either, Tony, but let's look at the Washington Commanders. They head to New York to face the Giants, and I think from last week, watching these Washington Commanders, I could confidently say this is the worst defense in all of football here. They lost to the Minnesota Vikings 31-0. Granted, they were in Minnesota, hard environment, but that defense, I mean, my God, I could be quarterback and throw for 250 yards, and that's exactly where I'm going in this one here. We're looking at Jackson Dart. I think his over-under is a little too low here, 207.5 passing yards here for the rookie. And this defense for the Washington Commanders almost allowing 400 yards per game here. The Commanders on a 7-game losing streak. Well, the Giants aren't much better here, but Dart last week, he had to face a Patriots defense who is 6th best here in National Football League on that defensive side. I think he lights it up against this bad Washington team here. He had 139 passing yards last week. It's a bounce back week here at home for the Giants. Snap out of their 6-game losing streak. Hit Jackson Dart over 207.5 passing yards, Tony.
Yeah, I tell you what, there was a lot of talk about Washington, what they did in Detroit last year in the playoffs, and everybody was high on them this year. I was one of those saying it's going to be a little bit of a regression, but it's been a lot more than a little bit of regression. Obviously, they've had some injury issues, but Dan Quinn cannot be sleeping well at night being a defensive guru the way his defense is playing right now, because that was one of the worst efforts And I'm talking, I've been watching some Cincinnati too, and their defense, but Washington's giving them a run for their money right now. That's for sure. Let's switch gears and go over to a game that, should not be much of a game. Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. One thing which surprised me on Monday night, I know it was an overtime loss, and they turned it down there going in, for the win type thing. But I've said all year long, Philadelphia got away from the recipe for success where they won a Super Bowl last year, including stuffing my boys right there in the Super Bowl in embarrassing fashion by absolutely pounding the rock against everybody with the best running back in the league. And if I'm not mistaken, this was 122 yards last week they ran Barkley. And that was against the Charger defense on the road, Nick. I mean, now they got Vegas at home. Now, Vegas, actually, if you look at their defensive numbers, they're not that bad of a team. They rank around 16th, middle of the pack, which is impressive, noting the fact that their offense is a lot of 3 and outs. They just hand the defense a flaming piece of dog turd, and you got to deal with it. And they're still able to, relatively contain teams. But last week, the 122, this week's the rushing yards, 76.5. But I'm not interested in that over. I'm interested in the over longest rush for 16.5 yards by Barkley. He busted one for 52 on Monday night. I think this defense is suspect against a good running back, especially late in the game. He shakes loose for a 25, 30-yarder here. Give me Saquon Barkley over 16.5 on his longest rush. That's minus 120. Nick?
Like that one, Tony. Let's look at the AFC East here. We got a showdown. The Bills, they had to New England here to face the Patriots. And this is the stat, and you'll know exactly where I'm going. And you got to listen to this one. The Bills have given up the most rushing touchdowns this season here, folks. The Bills defense on the ground, they allow 135 on average per game here. Their defensive front has not stopped this run, and I'm looking at the Patriots running back here. Trayvon Henderson, anytime touchdown here, minus 105. He has not scored in his last 2 weeks. This guy's a touchdown machine. Let's not forget it. He's got 5 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving. I think he punches it in. This is going to be a high-scoring game. The Bills just put up 39 on the Bengals. The Patriots on a 10-game winning streak. Let's not forget the Bills. They lost to these Patriots at home, 23-20 earlier in the season. This is a revenge spot. A lot of points to be scored here. I like Henderson anytime touchdown against a brutal defensive front here in the Buffalo Bills, Tony.
Yeah, Bills gave up 15 unanswered to lose that game at home against the Patriots. Unbelievable. This is going to be a great game. I've got a premium play on this on my card. It's not my 6-unit top play, but I have a premium side play in this game on Sunday. Doc Sports, by the way, I wanted to mention there's a free $60. That link above us. We'll park $60 in any new account, and it comes with a profit guarantee and 0 hassles. There's also a tab on the upper left-hand corner of the website. You click on that. Any new account, free $60, 0 obligation. Prop cards are $25. That means you get Nick's prop card, my prop card. That's going to have 7 or 8 picks on it combined. You can get it for free and still have money left over. You're here for free stuff. You're surfing around for free stuff on YouTube. Surf over to DocSports.com at that link and pick up a free $60. If you have any questions or concerns about that $60, there's an 800 number on the website. And guess what? Right there it is. Call customer service and ask them about it. There's not some silver-tongued devil trying to upsell you jack shit on there. It's Docs has been around 53 years. The owner of Docs is like me. Now, not necessarily like Nick. I'm old school. We're old school. So when somebody answers a phone, how can I help you? not what can I sell you. So don't be afraid to pick up the phone and give them a call. Ask them any questions that you want, and we will take care of you. User experience is number one, and that means winning you bets as well. So be sure and get over and check out the prop cards and all the offerings there. Big college basketball weekend as well. NHL, NBA, all going on along with the football. And bowl season right around the corner. Pick yourself up a bowl end of the year package or whatever there and get yourself lined up with some bowl and playoff games. Let's see, where am I at? Oh, every week, almost every week, we go to the field goal kicker. Just the ignored, absolutely ignored part of the prop market. And like last week, Fairbairn, again, I told you wanted to stretch out a little bit on minus 155. By the way, I put 5 bills on minus 155 on that boy. Sure enough, there we go. And now they're catching up with him this week. He's minus 180, Nick, to go over. Yeah, now they're getting used to it. But one they left wide open was Will Lutz from Denver. Denver's taking on the Green Bay Packers this weekend at Mile High, where the balls, no matter what the weather is, the balls will fly. And let's see, he's kicked 8 in the last 3 games, made 8 field goals in the last 3 games. Green Bay's defense is tough, and they're tough in the red zone. I'm going to go over. Will Lutz, Denver, 1.5 field goals, minus 130. Tasty little number. Get in there and take a little bite, folks. Nick, what do you got for the last play? The culmination of the Prop Madness show.
Your money with those prop kickers. So let's go to Monday Night Football here. We got Pittsburgh Steelers and the Miami Dolphins. And if you guys listen to the show last week, I'm going right back to it here. This is a Tua under 28.5 passing attempts. Now, these Dolphins are on a 4-game winning streak now. In those 4 games, Tua has hit this under each and every time. This Miami team has completely changed their dynamic here on the offensive side. They're run heavy. They're taking the weight off of Tua here at the quarterback position. Look at what's happening. They're winning ball games here. They're averaging 125 rushing yards per game. That's 8th best in the National Football League. Nothing changes here this week on Monday night against a very good Pittsburgh team. Run the ball effectively and take the weight off of Tua. That's exactly what the Miami Dolphins have done the last month. Take Tua's under again, 28.5 passing attempts. Tony, I love it again this week.
Yeah, and I just was watching the NFL Network, and TJ Watt's been hospitalized with a lung issue for Pittsburgh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, just came up on the screen. I thought I saw it last night on the ticker while I was watching the ball game or watching Sports Center or something. But I was half asleep by the time I got home. I'm like, what? And I turned on NFL Network. Sure enough, he had some sort of it happened at practice where he had some sort of lung issue. What it is, I don't know. That's obviously a dangerous situation. And if he's not in there, they're definitely going to have some success running the ball because TJ Watt is a game changer, big time defensively. That they take on a whole different dynamic without him playing in the game. Just FYI, folks. But that's the type of up-to-the-minute news that we get and we share and we put into all of our picks at DocSports.com. That's our show for today. 6 free picks. Keep tuning in each and every Friday. Get over to Doc Sports. Take advantage of the free $60. And Nick and I will see you again next week here on Doc Sports Prop Madness Show.